Are you lost in your lies? Do you tell yourself you don't realize your crusades a disguise? You mix freedom with fear, you trade money for lives. I'm aware of what you've done. I see pain, I see a need. I see liars and thieves who abuse power with greed. I had hope, I believed, but I'm beginning to think that I've been deceived. You will pay for what you've done. Those were lyrics written by the late Chester Bennington from the rock group Linkin Park. Chester was an interesting guy. I didn't really listen to Linkin Park that much. Obviously, I didn't personally know Chester. But when he writes things like that, I can relate to them on a very, very personal level. Because Chester seemed like somewhat of a sensitive soul, and he could probably tell what's going on behind the scenes. Just as I can, too. And it pretty much boils down to that Bible verse, Ephesians 6:12, which is, do not think it is a battle of flesh and blood, but it is a battle against spiritual forces, the authorities, wickedness in high places in this dark world. So, I don't know. I just felt moved by my spirit to make this video because we're at the tipping point. We're at a breaking point, and I keep on watching you people, and it's very hard to see the improvement. There are small groups of people who are actually improving, but unfortunately, what is the case is that the elites, all right, many of the people who have power, most of them who are men, and the women who decide to stand beside those men too. You guys, Chester knew what was going on. I know what is going on. And you want us to think that everything is all fine and dandy and you got this, and we're all great people with diversity and everything is going great. YOLO, you only live once. I know what's going on. All right. You people are corrupt, gluttonous, liars, thieves, greedy, selfish, evil bastards. Luciferian fucking bastards. And many of you, and it's insane because also you're very, very racist. The European leaders are very racist. The American leaders are very racist. So many people on this planet are very, very racist. All right? And it is just ridiculously insane that you still, and most of the time the racism, it's directed towards the blacks. All right? That people of African descent, people who look like me, the humans who look like me. And I'm like, haven't you tortured and abused these people enough? You still treat them like filth. You see, I was watching a video about some journalism from Ukraine, and one of the people who were living in Ukraine, the blacks, they were saying that they were being treated in a very racist fashion in Europe. So yeah, racism against black people in Europe, yeah, big whoop happens all the freaking time. And also what struck me too is that the black people themselves, many of black Americans, they themselves are also very racist. In fact, African Americans, many of them are even more racist than the white Americans. But I just see racism everywhere in this country and in this world. And it's very appalling and it's disgusting. And that's what happens when you divorce yourself from higher power. All right? That's what happens when you ignore the gospel and you decide to believe other philosophies and things of the sort. All right? Because we know that God the Father exists. And you can try to hide it and tell stories, make Darwinian evolution, secularism, all this, that. But you will never kill the truth inside of us. All right? And there are only two types of people in this whole universe, in existence. And there are people. The two people, not male and female even. Just two people. There are people who are with God the Father. All right? Jesus Christ, God the Father. And there are people who are with Lucifer, who are with Satan. All right? And that is it. Now, racism, it is very, very irrational. It's stupid. It's logical. And it is primitive. And it is dumb. It's very, very dumb. And if you knew the truth of what was really going on, what we are, you would know that it makes no sense at all for you to be acting this way. Also, nationalism is dumb. Tribalism is dumb. All this like me, it's very destructive. All right. The only thing that matters is compassion and unity. And it's a weird case that we have because many people, they fight against racism, but while being racist themselves. So they'll say, you're racist, you're racist, you're racist. But you too, in your heart, you're also racist. It's very, very, very hard to find humans who are 100% not racist, unfortunately. In fact, I think we have more racist people on Earth than we do non-racist people. I'm pretty sure of that fact. And you need to stop judging people by the color of their skin and their things of the sort. We're way too old and we need to advance, And as I said, I myself, I don't even take favorites. I do not take favorites because there are only two types of beings in all of existence. There are beings who with God the Father and Jesus, and there are beings who with Lucifer. And unfortunately, planet Earth, you guys, man, this planet, unfortunately, I'd like to inform you guys if you haven't noticed, but this is one of the most Luciferian, this is the most Luciferian, or one of the most, probably the most Luciferian planet in all of the cosmos. And it's so Luciferian that when God the Father, in that story, whether you believe it was literal or not, fiction or not fiction, but that story, it was written there for a purpose, just to show you how evil and sick and twisted and racist, all right, not even just evil that you are. He sent his only begotten son down here, and he said, everyone, get along, love each other, live with compassion, live with kindness. And he started a whole campaign in which he was pretty much trying to show you how that's done. All right, so he was talking the talk, and he was walking the walk. And you didn't like it. You hated it so much that you fucking murdered him. In fact, you tried to kill him many times, and he was evading you because Jesus is a really smart guy. He was a badass, and he always knew they would try to kill him. And finally, he's just like, you know what? Okay, whatever. Here, take me. Turn the other cheek. You see, he talked the talk and he walked the walk, and he stood by his words. Then, okay, I'll let you murder me, so that the whole world will see, just the universe will see how friggin' twisted and sick and evil you people are choosing to be. So that maybe after doing this, you will learn and you will repent. Because Jesus was a smart guy. If he wanted to, he could have just evaded capture again for the rest of his life and just disappeared. But he's like, you know what? I'll let them murder me. So what did you do? You nailed him to the cross. Bam. And against God the Father's will. See, God did not want Jesus to get murdered. God sent Jesus down here to tell these humans what's up. To tell them about the absolute reality that you call heaven. Which definitely is real, 100%. And he sent a good, beautiful message. And he also came here to warn you of hell. He was saying, you need to behave, because if you don't behave, there will be consequences for your actions. Okay? And you didn't like it. You were so evil that when someone tells you, even tries to warn you that you're evil, will get you destroyed. You continue to be evil, and you get so mad that you even kill the guy who was trying to save you. Who does that? How is it that somebody sends you a savior to show you the way out, and instead of saying thank you, you decide to murder him instead? And then after you murder him, many, many years later, you take it for granted and you crack jokes about him and you mock Jesus. All right, a man that you freaking murdered. You tortured and you killed. You mock him in the mainstream media. I've seen your freaking Family Guy shows and all kinds of stuff. You get mad when people talk about Jesus. Why? You should be repentant. You should be grateful. But you get mad when people talk about Jesus. Okay? And so it's just, and it's sad because you don't listen, and you're still acting like fucking children. Yeah, racism, that is a disgusting, evil blight to this planet. And you want to know how evil it is? May 19th, 1918. The lynching of Mary Turner. This is a person of color, a black woman. Now, I'm not going to go into detail of what happened there. Maybe I should. All right, well, I'll try to, Liz. So, Mary Turner, she spoke up for the truth. You murdered someone, and she said, nope, I don't like that you murdered this person. That person was my husband. I loved him very much, and you murdered him, so I'm going to speak up against you guys. That was wrong. You shouldn't have done that. And you hated her so much just for speaking the truth that you said, you know what? We're going to murder you too. In the most degrading, disgusting fashion. We're going to hang you upside down. We're going to pour gasoline on you. And we're going to light the fire and burn you to a crisp. Burn everything. Burn your clothes off. Everything. And your skin. And then we're going to take a butcher knife and slice you fucking open. Pull out your unborn, your 9 months or your 8 month old baby out of your womb and curb stomp it on the fucking ground. And then we're going to take bullets and blast your freaking corpse. And after that, maybe we'll cut your body up to pieces and pretty much sell it in the market. Things of the sort like that. You see, that's what you guys do to people. Humans just like you. That is racism. Now, there are so many more examples of this. So many. And it's weird because you keep on doing this shit. The whole universe is looking at planet Earth and they're like, what the fuck kind of creatures are this? These guys are fucking crazy. As I said, it is the most Luciferian planet in the whole of the cosmos. And when you look at this planet's history, it's like, wow. We're always making these alien movies and we're depicting these aliens as like these evil guys who are going to destroy us and kill us all, blah, 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 blah. But in reality, man, you don't even should fear those guys. You should fear the humans in this point. Because the extraterrestrials, they're like, when they look at you, they're like, holy shit. They're like, what? Because you act like fucking animals. Alright? And I'm not talking just about one group of people. I'm talking about so many of you people. Whites, the Europeans, the Africans, the Asians, the Orientals, all of you humans, right? Of course, there are many people who are good, they're kind, they're compassionate, and they learned how to live better in line with the gospel, whether they know the gospel or not. Empathy, compassion, kindness, things of this sort. But there's some you of an individual who you choose to embrace their twisted Luciferian nature, you fallen angel bastards. Alright? And you choose to continue to be racist. Because, let me tell you something. If you think that God the Father takes favorites, and he favors one group of people over the other group of people, and sadly, you are so mistaken. God the Father is super personal. He's super personal. He looks at each and every one of us at a very individualistic level, even closer. And he knows you more than you even know yourself. So if you think that, hey, we are God's chosen people because I'm white or I'm black or I'm this, that, again, you are mistaken. You are mistaken. All right, God looks at each of us very, very individual. And yes, there are such things as archetypes and things of the sort. But this whole racism, this whole tribalism, feudalism shit, it needs to stop. All right? You need to learn how to live with compassion and stop choosing favorites and stop slaving people. Stop using racial epithets. Because it's just so freaking primitive. It's gone to the point now that you see, I even like a lot of the extraterrestrials. If I'd rather sit down in like a bar and have a conversation with a guy from a different planet than I would with most humans, because I probably have more in common with the guys from a different planet, because I know that the humans here very, very Luciferian, very, very racist, and it's so racism is very evil, and that is for sure. But it precedes even racism, it's misogyny, sexual. I can go on and on and on and on and on and on. But anyway, the focus of this video is racism. And humans, you guys, you're too old to be doing this. You're too old. Each of us are energetic beings, all right? Stop looking at this flesh so much and look at the character of the person. That's what Martin Luther King tried to tell. And it's like you haven't learned a single damn fucking thing. I, I can't stress it enough. I don't know what I have to do or say. But it's just crazy because of my skin, because of the way I look at the outside, there are many individuals who look at me and they're like, okay, you look like me, therefore I own you. Therefore I can call you these words. Therefore I can put my hands on you. Therefore I can murder you. Because it's crazy because I've actually been abused more by people who look like this, people, black folks. And then I have been abused by white folks. So again, as I said, black people are racist, white people are racist, racism is everywhere. And all you humans who are perpetrating this racism, you need to stop. You need to stop. You black folks who are doing it, you need to stop. You white people who are doing it, you need to stop. You Asian Oriental people who are doing this, you need to stop. You Europeans who are doing this, you need to stop. You Africans who are doing this, you need to stop. Because you talk to someone and then you smile at your face, you nod your heads and be like, give you a thumbs up. And one day you're talking to him, you extrovert some racism right in your, right up at you, and you're like, oh wow, you're a racist bastard all along. You know, and things like that happen so many times, you know. And what we are is that we are energetic beings, all right? And energy can take different forms, you know. Energy can take different forms. And it's so freaking funny and it's hilarious that some people do not figure this out. They don't realize it. They'll look at someone and they'll say, oh, this person has beautiful white skin, blue eyes, and dark hair, and therefore they are better than everyone else, and things like that. It's kind of like obvious, and yeah, it's a very aesthetically pleasing phenotype, of course. But you have to really look at the person, because I knew a guy like that in high school, Canadian dude. His name was Sean Gaucher. Very pale, white skin, blue eyes, dark hair, and then before you know it, he'll be calling me a Negro over and over and over again, like it's if I'm some kind of like animal. And this is a 17-year-old guy, by the way, so almost a man. And it's funny though, because I had a mixed guy too, who was standing right beside him, and he was doing it too. And I'm like, dude, aren't you half black? So why, like? And these people, they will act like we're your friends and they'll be nice to you, but then that racist nature of them, it always comes out one way or another. You know, and some people, they're very good at hiding it, but they are racist bastards. And they are racist because they have divorced themselves from God the Father. They do not know the truth. They do not know and understand the truth. But an easy way for me to describe it is that life is sort of like Gundam Wing, the anime Gundam Wing. And these meat suits, they're like the mobile suits. You know, you can upgrade them, they can look differently, but you need to be able to sense people's energy signature. Okay, you need to be able to sense people's energy signature and ask yourself, is this person with God the Father, Jesus, or is this person with Lucifer, the devil, Satan? Because it's a masquerade. It is a masquerade. Many people already know this, you know, but it's just so freaking foolish, because you have some people in meat suits that look so pleasant and nice, and black meat suits that look so pleasant and beautiful, and white meat suits that look so pleasant and beautiful, Oriental meat suits that look pleasant and beautiful. And they'll just fucking trick you because they're with the freaking devil. And then it's always the way around too, sometimes. But let me tell you something. If you're somebody who looks very, very beautiful, then obviously that's nice, aesthetically pleasing, great. But you're more susceptible to be getting pulled into the world more. All right. So you need to be able to protect yourself from it, because in the Bible it says, "Come out to her, my people, so you do not partake in her sins." All right. And this is another story. I grew up with a friend. His name is Joe. This is a Caucasian male. He's a very, very good-looking guy. All right. We're adults now. He was my best friend when I was a kid. He got a nice square jaw, beautiful piercing blue eyes, blonde hair. One of the cool popular kids too. So, yeah. And how you look, I mean, there's pros and cons to it. But when I'm saying that if you're a very, very good-looking person, you're more likely to get sucked into the world and the world's ways, because everybody likes you. You know, and that has its perks, but it's also very dangerous too. So you need to be aware of that. So if you're someone who is like me, not very super handsome. See, I don't have a super handsome face. I know that. But that's fine too, because I don't really mind. But man, I mean, if you're someone who is super handsome, then you're more likely to be proud. You're more likely to be a little bit egotistical. I mean, it just happens. I mean, it's not really your fault because everyone is feeding your ego. Everyone is falling at your feet. Everyone's giving you a thumbs up, and then you get sucked into the world. So I mean, when you look at people, you have to like look at them energetically. Look at how they say, how they talk. Look at what they do. Look at what they represent. Look at their art, how they extrovert themselves, and gauge. All right, don't just look at someone and say, "Oh, this person is so beautiful, therefore he or she is good," and this person has very dark skin and they're very fat, and therefore this person is naturally bad. You don't know a goddamn thing about them. All right, there's some people who look amazingly beautiful, but in the inside their souls are cold and numb and disgusting. And I wouldn't mess around with them, even if somebody wanted to pay me to do it, because I'll be like, hell fucking no, this. No. And then it's also the other side of the coin too. You get people who they don't look very attractive at all, but it's still at the same time, you can tell that they have a close relationship to a higher power, to God the Father, and they believe in compassion, things of the sort. And people who don't look as good, they're more likely to actually be around God more, because this world just rejects them and spits on them. It causes them to suffer, and when people suffer, often they get close to God. You see? So it's actually quite interesting to see how things are playing out, to see how your outward appearance affects how you pretty much end up, because first off, you want to be with God the Father. You want to be with Jesus. That is the most freaking important thing. So if you're somebody who looks very, very handsome, or a woman who looks very, very beautiful, you look aesthetic, that's great. Praise God. Everyone likes beauty. I like looking at a beautiful woman too. Beautiful men, they look awesome too. But it's risky, because you can get proud, ego-driven, and sucked into the world. And the world will give you riches, and they'll bow at your feet. And you can end up completely forgetting about God the Father and Jesus, and start thinking that, oh, I am my own God. I don't need Jesus. Katy Perry, case in point. That was a Christian girl. Beyonce, case in point. You see what's going on here? Your looks, how you look on the outside, it's, I mean, obviously everybody, it's nice to look good, right? But you're giving those looks, it's sort of like a power, and then you get that power, and then you abuse it, and you turn to the dark side, and you start thinking, well, everybody loves me, I look so amazing and great, everyone treats me nicely, the world's bowing to my feet, all these men are like gawking and worshiping me, throwing their money at me, or I'm a man and I'm tall, and I'm handsome, and I'm good looking, and I don't really need God, because look how rich I am already. So this God and Jesus stuff, it's not important to me. And that's how the devil snatches you. So if you're someone like me who isn't like super handsome, take heart. Don't feel bad and envy these people. Be grateful, because that beauty, that external beauty, it can come at a price, a very, very steep price. And what impresses me a lot is that when I see women who look very, very beautiful on the outside, and then the whole world is like pretty much worshiping them, but at the same time they're just like I don't really care, and you can kind of tell that maybe they're probably on Christ's side and they won't choose Lucifer. That's very rare, but some people are kind of like that, which is nice. Also some men too, which is very nice. But what I pretty much notice is that if you're someone who has very dark skin, all right, you're black, and you're overweight, then you to them at a conscious or a subconscious level, you're seen as the scum of the earth. They even made a movie about it called Precious, right? Precious. And they made that movie to show how some people are treated on this planet. Racism. However, instead of having sympathy and changing your ways, I've seen some Americans use that precious as a punchline joke. Yeah, precious, precious. I'm like, yo, that is a human being, yo. That is one of God's daughters. We are all one of God's. We're all God's children, sons and daughters. You know. So if you think that because you take favorites and think that some people you can abuse them a certain way, you can call them certain names, and this human's worthless and these humans are good, you know. I mean, I got like pale white skin and these piercing blue eyes and jet black hair. I'm like blonde with beautiful radiant skin, or you know, I got this awesome physique and six pack abs, and I'm like 6'5" and all this kind of stuff, and you think that you're like better than people because of that. That's not how God sees us. So God sees us by our hearts, by our actions, you know, by what we believe and by what we do. That is what really matters. That's why being very attractive can potentially be very, very dangerous. All right. Okay, do you understand? Most people don't. It can be very, very dangerous because your soul, in some ways, is more susceptible to getting tricked. You understand? If you're very, very beautiful and very, very attractive, one of these popular kids who often are mostly the Caucasian guys. Obviously, there are for all races. There's some black guys who look very, very handsome. The Caucasian people look very, very good looking. Asian Orientals, all these very, very, very good looking people who have the world bowing to their feet because they belong to a certain race or they have certain genetic features on the face. All right. Again, you need to be very, very careful because you're more susceptible in many ways to be taken by the devil because you got everybody worshiping you. Everybody's saying that you're good, so therefore you don't need God. Or I'll forget about that God stuff and just have fun. You know, God the Father should be your first priority in life. And racism is bullshit. It is fucking. I can go on and on and on talking about this, but you humans, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You don't understand the context of this reality because if you did, you would realize you'd be like, oh, holy crap. We're literally like living in a masquerade. It is a masquerade. And this me suit, the color of this me suit does not determine you at all. And Martin Luther King tried to explain it to you. He tried to explain that to you. And he was right, but even more right than he even himself realized. All right? Demons, energetic energy, things of this sort. It can be manipulated, it can come into different forms, but you need to be able to sense people's energy signature. You need to be able to sense people's and ask them, is this person of Christ and God the Father, or is this person of Lucifer? Or this person is somewhere in gray area in between. Often they're in a gray area between. That's usually a red flag too in itself because most of them just get, you build your house on the sand and then it gets, this house, when the wind comes, it goes tumbling down. You know. So if you're somebody who isn't like super good looking, take heart. In fact, a lot to be grateful for. If you're someone who isn't super rich, again, take heart. There is much to be grateful for. It's written in the gospel. You know, I'm not saying that it's bad to be good looking and rich. What I'm saying is that you are in danger. You know, and that's why I kind of feel bad a little bit for many of my Caucasian brothers. Many of them, these are guys, they're good looking guys, you know, and they know that they're good looking. And if you're good looking and you're Caucasian too, because also they're good looking black people as well, African American people. Well, but if you're good looking, then you're more likely to get sucked into this world and its ways and be taken by the devil because you're going to say, oh, this Jesus stuff doesn't really matter. This God stuff, I don't really need it. I'm like already getting worshipped as God anyway. I mean, just look at what happened to Katy Perry. This is a Christian girl, right? Look at Beyonce. You know, these girls, they started off in the church. Now look how they ended up. You see, that's how your looks can push you astray. And again, racism has a good play in it too. People are extremely, very, very racist, and they may try to hide it. But it gets insanely obvious. You need to learn how to sense people's energy signature. All right, each of us have a unique energy signature, and you need to learn how to sense it and see what you are perceiving. And stop looking at the meat suits and just saying you're this, that, and being all hierarchical and categorizing people that way. That's not how it works, and you're acting fucking stupid when you do that. The reason why you're doing it is because you're probably an atheist or a secularist, and you think that the secularism is the predominating religion in the West, and it's very foolish because we have an insane amount of evidence that God the Father exists. I'm not going to even just debate this stuff anymore. But if you want to be dumb and whatever, but and all this racism, this racist crap, it needs to end. Because I am sick of it. I am sick of it. It's at the breaking point. You know, I could go on talking more, but like, there's some truth bombs that I could even drop right now, but I don't want to overwhelm you people. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. All right, but do not make no mistake. Your outer appearance, all right, your race, that is not what defines you. All right. We are energetic beings inside these meat suits, which are also made out of energy. But again, our forms can change, our outward appearance can change dramatically. What matters is your soul. So let that sink in. Yes, we do have souls, 1,000%. No doubt about it. No, it's undisputable. We have souls, definitely. And how your soul manifests externally, that can even change over time. Alright? You can be a different race of person. A soul can be of a different race of person. Right? You need to learn how to sense people's energy signatures. You understand this energy signature, and it's left by the words they say, the things that they do, and how they live, and the choices that they make. You know, your attitude, how you extrovert yourself. And it's sad because you see some of these celebrities and they look very good, but they extrovert themselves in terrible ways, to the point where it's kind of, I'm actually a little bit you have some celebrities that look very, very beautiful, but it's crazy because, hypothetically speaking, if one of these celebrities wanted to date me, I would be like, no fucking way. I'd much rather date a more average looking girl, because I know that more average looking girl, she's probably with Christ, God the Father. These celebrities, they're Luciferian. They're very good Luciferian people, and that's because they've been tricked badly. They've been given money, they've been given wealth, and all this kind of stuff, and they jump ship. You know, and that's what happens when you're very good looking, especially if you're very, very good looking and you're white too. They also do that to the black people of all races, but exactly. So racism is so evil and disgusting. All right, and if you're someone who is Caucasian and you're watching this, then I hope that you can probably relate, and just maybe so you don't fall a victim. White hegemony, white supremacy. You know. By that, I mean that throughout the course of history and time, it's always been the Caucasian, the European guys, who have the science and technology, who pretty much are dominating the world. You know, enslaving people, and even enslaving people who look just like them. Excuse me. And even to this day, so if you're Caucasian, you're more likely to be tempted to think, well, I'm the biggest fish in the pond. Nobody's above me. The whole world says I'm good, and they're pretty much worshiping me because I'm like of the greatest elite group. But you have to try to see the world through God the Father's eyes, all right? But that's the problem. Most people don't know who God the Father is. They don't know what he's like. A lot of them don't even believe him. They mock him badly. And when you do things like that, when you mock God, all right, he's just literally like, he's seeing this stuff, and he's just like, he's just seeing it too, and he's like, we don't know. We've gone to a point in time in history where people are supposed to be getting involved and getting smarter, but they're becoming spiritual degenerates. You mock God, and you mock Jesus, and you sit back and just smile smugly over it. I've seen it, and that is just offensive. It just shows how far you have fallen. That's why you succumb to things like racism. Racism. That's the point of this video, but I spoke about many other things. But so I mean, I don't know what else is left to be said about this topic. I can go talk about it for a very, very long time, but I will end and close with this. God the Father, all right, not God the Father. He is very, very real, and He looks at us at a super, super personal level. And if you think because your skin color looks a certain way that we are God's chosen people, and this whole black Jesus shit, that is just dumb as. Just stop it. It does not matter what color he was. Okay, he could have been. He came for everyone. So stop saying, "Oh, Jesus belongs to me. Jesus belongs to me. Jesus belongs." Jesus, no. You need to take up your cross and follow him. You become Jesus' friend and one of his own when you make that decision. Not because of how you look on the outside. Do not undermine God the Father. Okay? Do not undermine God the Father or Jesus. Right? Racism is a fucking lie. And you're being tricked by demons when you believe that stuff. And they knew that you would, because you are spiritually weak and many of you choose not to follow. And the reason why you're spiritually weak is because you allow yourself to be. You don't. Jesus is literally the most famous person in all of humanity. All you have to do is read the gospel. It is right there. But you much rather prefer to listen to these Jay-Z's, these 50 Cents, these Sam Harris's, these Jordan Petersons. Why? Jesus was far more smarter than all of them. But instead of like reading Jesus and following the gospel, you much rather follow Nietzsche or some other random philosopher. What the fuck do they know? Like compared to Jesus. Jesus was far smarter than any of those. You couldn't come close. So, you know what? I will end it with that. Please, just put an end to this racism bullshit. Stop calling people the N-words. Try to see the world through God the Father's perspective, or at least maybe an extraterrestrial who is more spiritually advanced. Because you will realize that this racism bullshit, it is evil, twisted, and sick as fuck. And 37 minutes have passed by. I'm talking about it, and I can still talk about it for another hour or another 30 minutes if I want to. But I have other things on my agenda that I need to discuss. Alright, so anyway, I will end it with that. Put an end to racism and stop being so goddamn hypocritical. Stop taking favorites. Look at each other and everyone as an individual at a very personal level. Alright, and we are all humans. We are all God's children. It isn't the case that we're the better children. No. God the Father is super personal. He is super personal. And that I will close.